What is going on, guys? Correct 1287 here, bringing you some Battlefield 4 gameplay, and this is post-patch gameplay. Obviously, you guys saw yesterday I uploaded the video showing the ASVAL, which I guess kind of leaked, and that was obviously post-patch gameplay, but here's just going to be some random gameplay going on there in the background. Nothing too fancy schmancy about that, because today I'm just going to be discussing the actual patch, the changes that it's made, and whether or not I think that it was a good patch. And for the most part, yes, I love about 90% of the changes that have been introduced, and I will also be going over, in addition to the actual patch notes, the ninja updates that made it through. Like with all games, for some reason, when the developers release their patch notes, there's a lot of things that they leave out. I don't know if it's on purpose or if it's just because the person that is in charge of doing patch notes releases that they're not queued in on everything, or if the person that does it just doesn't get info from everybody's department that did certain... I don't really know, but there's a lot of ninja updates, quite a few actually, and some of them are some of the more significant updates that I think have been added. So let's go through the actual patch notes. The link in the video description, as always, will be included to the actual thread where they talk about the patch. They did add in mantle support, however, it is only for AMD. I mean, that's kind of a given. That's not really anything that's going to be changing anytime soon. However, the support for mantle in the actual AMD drivers have not released, so it's good to go in Battlefield. However, it's not good to go for AMD's drivers. So that actually is not out, but I will say that things are looking good for that. I might do a video specifically on that at a later point. Granted, I'm an NVIDIA user and won't be able to test it out, but I can definitely discuss the potential that it has given the numbers that they have released. So let's get into some of the stuff that they actually have changed. One of the first things, I'm not going to be going over everything, just some of the ones that I feel are the standout things. First thing right off the bat, tweaked and improved CPU multi-core utilization to try and avoid stuttering and low frame rate due to stalls that happened on some CPU and OS configurations. There's some other stuff in there, such as the improved performance with rendering and spotlights for all GPUs, primarily in indoor environments, and something about enable tile-based compute shader lighting optimization on NVIDIA for improved GPU performance. Don't know what the heck any of most of that stuff really means, but I will say that the game does run smoother overall. There's certain maps, Siege of Shanghai, I noticed some frame rate hitches, but for the most part, while recording, I have absolutely no issues with the smoothness of the game. So the game runs pretty darn smooth. They added in some developer console commands. I will mess with those and see how that works. Might do a video on that later on, but that's pretty much all they did for the performance aspects. DMR's balances, that actually did come into play. They made their changes to DMRs. I still don't have any of them unlocked until I can use that DMR shortcut for the Player Appreciation Month. So sadly, I can't really test that out, but some of the TG guys have been using the DMRs in core and in hardcore, and for the most part, they are really liking the changes. Obviously, because they're using them. I haven't really noticed a significant amount of people using them on me, but that might change once the DMR shortcut releases and everybody actually has access to them. No longer are you going to have to snipe and put up with that to get those unlocked. So that might change once the Player Appreciation comes out. So we'll see how that gets handled. Then some of the other key things, the significantly reduce the duration of the black screen when spawning in and fix the issue with players getting killed before being in game. Now, looking at the ninja updates, link to this thread will be in the description below as well. They actually estimate that it was roughly a 1.14 second black screen, now reduced to a roughly 0.11 second. That definitely is significant. I mean, that's like more than a 90% reduction. So that's really, really cool. That's one of my favorite things, as well as a lot of other people's. Next, greatly reduce the risk of crosshairs disappearing, which would also result in hit markers disappearing. I'm sad that it doesn't say completely reduced, but I have not seen it happen to me yet. And I love this because this is one of my biggest pet peeves with the game before the patch. I'm so glad that they fixed this. It is Christmas all over again. Next, added a headshot icon on the kill card, or kill screen, or whatever you want to call it. This should help identify instances where players are correctly killed by one shot. So, very glad that they added this in. It was in BF3. It's in pretty much every shooter. Why this wasn't in by the default, I don't know, but now it is, and the icon's very much noticeable. It's not something that's difficult to see. And then final thing on the official patch notes that stood out to me is that they fixed the gameplay code to properly track the FOV, the field of view, changes in the options menu. I don't know if this is an actual bug or if they're talking about how they added in a toggleable thing where you can now have your FOV apply when aiming down sight or not apply when aiming down sight. If you guys know what I mean, then you're going to know what I mean. If you don't, well, just Google it. It would take a while to explain that, and this video is already going to be probably long enough. Already around 6 minutes. So let's move on to the Ninja updates. Like I said, some of the most important things I feel are in here. Sad to hear this one. Multiple missile straw change. You can no longer have multiple missiles in the air. Very sad. I don't know if this is a bug. A lot of these Ninja updates, these could be bugs, which is why they weren't included in the original patch notes. These could possibly be bugs or just unintended things. Maybe these were things that they were looking at doing, but then, changed it, but at the last moment the guy screwed up and included them anyways. Who knows? So hopefully this does get changed back, because that made sense from a practical standpoint. A missile doesn't disappear like that. But it also was a really, really cool tactic for advanced players. It was not something that was easy to pull off effectively and consistently. So I hope they do add that back in. Change kit at test range. This is really, really handy. If you guys haven't used a test range already, it's a really great place to just mess around and learn to improve your piloting skills and mess with your graphics settings on PC and things like that. And it's really nice that they actually added in the supply drop kit that the commander can drop in. That's been added at the firing range aspect of the test range. So that just makes things really, really easy in changing your loadout. They increased color and contrast, so camouflages for their when you're looking at the loadout section with the to customize your character's camouflage and your weapon camos, they just kind of pop a little bit more. They're a little easier to see. Nothing too serious by that. Let's see what else. 3D enemy spot icons, also known as Doritos, have added a level of scaling. The further something away is from you, it's going to be a little smaller. So chopper pilots, it's going to be kind of difficult for them to spot enemies that are spotted. That's kind of a good thing. It should be like that. You shouldn't be able to spot things from that far away. Snipers, that's going to make things difficult for them. But also just when a lot of enemies are getting spotted and you're in 64 player servers and there's just so many people being spotted, that's just going to make things a little better and easy to see. If you're aiming at someone that has a lot of enemies around them and they're spotted, it's not going to be as big a fustercluck on your screen. You're actually going to be able to see who you're aiming at and not just a whole bunch of those Doritos. So that's really cool. The in-game chat color has been updated. They've done some slight changes, and I like the changes. It definitely makes it a lot easier to see when the enemy is making a comment and things like that, as well as admin messages are now in like a orangish color, and the admin information will now pop up on the center of your screen. So there's like a vote coming up soon and things like that. So I think it's a little too invasive of your screen. It takes up a little too much space, and it's a little too close to where you're looking at for your crosshairs. So I do hope that if they would allow you to change that and alter it in your in-game settings to scale it around on your screen and the opacity of it, and that would be nice. But I do hope that they make that a little smaller and less invasive, because it can get in the way a little often now. They added the client information icon. This will be this little image off on the right. I'll have a little picture of what it is. And basically this is a HUD indication of when something goes wrong, whether it be packet loss, FPS drops, it could be anything. I find it a little annoying. It does happen often, and because there's so many things that can trigger it. and it's just kind of distracting when I see that thing pop up. Like, I'm getting better at it, like with anything, you know, it takes a while to adapt, but I feel like it's still gonna bug me often. I'll see it and I'll think it's a sniper, like a scope glint or something like that, or it could be an enemy moving. It's like my mind just sees these slight pixel changes on my screen that weren't there in the first place, and my go-to thought is, oh, that's, you know, an enemy or something like that. So, not the biggest fan of that, but who knows, I might be able to adjust. For you console guys, or well, Xbox One and PlayStation 4 at least, not the old school consoles, you have now had a in-game chat added. Obviously, you can't chat with keyboard like we can on PC, but when people are asking for ammo and medics and things like that, that actually will pop up in the chat feed now, so that's pretty cool for you guys. The in-game scoreboard icons were made slightly smaller. This makes it so that it's just a little easier to read. Bomb carrier spotted 24/7 in defuse. I'm hoping so much that this is a bug and this was unintended. This is one of my least favorite aspects of what's that game mode? The really, really chaotic one. You guys know what I'm talking about, where there's the bomb carrier. Oh, God, why is that not coming to me? But that was one of my least favorite things. It makes it so difficult to see. You know, if you aim at them, all you see is this giant icon, but it just screws over the guy that actually plays that objective and uses it. He's going to get sniped so soon or something like that. And now in Diffuse, where it's just 5v5, I don't know why they did this, but as soon as they pick it up, they're now constantly spotted. And so that means that's the guy that everybody's going to go towards, because if the bomb gets dropped, all they have to do is camp the bomb and stare at it, because the attackers have to go to it to pick it up and take it to the... This is a horrible decision. I really hope that they change it. This is my least favorite aspect of the patch. Finally, there are some changes around with some of the maps themselves. Some of the China Rising maps saw some actual change in the construction of the border of the map, where it becomes no man's zone. Certain areas that players were not supposed to be able to get to have now actually been made a no man zone. They've added some vehicles like the RCB on Rush. For Hainan Resort, the attackers now get the attack boat. This is going to help immensely. If you guys probably have seen my video for the defense idea for Hainan Resort, stealing a rib boat and using that. So it's been so easy for the defenders on Hainan Resort Rush. I'm really glad to see that they're adding in another tool for the attackers to get onto the land, as well as some offensive capacity, because that APC just goes so slow in that water, and it really just is not fair. So that's pretty much it. Oh, no, actually, UCAV reloading has been changed. This is unconfirmed, though. But this guy said that it now reloads without ammo supplies, and it just every 45 to 55 seconds it gets a new UCAV. I don't know. I haven't used the UCAV. I can't confirm that, but this guy seems to think that that was a change. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up for everything that I feel stands out and is important. Have you guys noticed anything that has been changed, altered, or added to the patch? Are you guys enjoying the patch? Console guys, are you enjoying it? PC guys, are you enjoying it as much as I am? I love this patch. I cannot wait to look forward to the other balancing changes, since they've only done the battle rifle ones. I can't wait to see all the changes that they do to the other guns. So hope you guys have enjoyed the gameplay going on there in the background, and have enjoyed my rambling on about the patch. Have a good one. Ta-ta.